What's good, everyone? I want to make a quick video showing you guys one of the most simple and profitable Forex strategies around. Let's get to it. Alright, so we're looking at GBP JPY right now. We're currently on the 4-hour chart. So first we want to identify the trend that's been going on for the most part. We can either go to the daily time frame or the 4-hour time frame. Currently, I'm going to be using the 4-hour. So quickly, we're just going to draw our trend line real quick. Perfect. We see we got touches here, 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 and then a break. So now we're going to go down to a lower time frame and figure out what type of structure we have going on. So I'm going to drop down to the 30-minute really quickly and see this here. So now that we're on the 30-minute, let's draw the structure that I've seen. I see support and also resistance in this area. I'm going to turn this to my 30-minute. So we have price acting as support here, support, broke through, came up, tested this piece of structure as resistance, and then eventually broke through. So we see the break here on the higher time frame, but what about the retest? So we're going to drop down to a lower time frame, and here we have it. Here is the initial break, come back down, and then the retest of said area. So sure, you can just use that single confluence if you want to take an extremely aggressive trade, but there's a couple other things that we can tack onto that. One thing that we can add on is our Fibonacci retracement. We drag it from the swing low to the swing high, and we see that price rejected this 50 zone right here. The 50% retracement on the Fibonacci tool is what we like to call a golden zone. It's basically just a place where you can take an entry in on your trade if you have other confluences that prove that your trend is valid. So here we have the initial break of this zone and then come back down for the retest. So let's draw out the profit calculator and see what we're looking like here. Personally, I'd want to keep my stops near the end of the structure or past any of the bottom wicks that happened previously. So we don't have any wicks that happened previously after it hit the 50 zone, so we're just going to have to use the end of the structure, which luckily for us as well is also the end of our 78.6. So currently we have our stops at about 11.6 pips, and it's a little bit past these wicks here that were made previously. We can definitely say that if price goes past down this, it's not coming back up because there's structure that is there, and then also new highs fail to be created. A good profit target that I like to shoot for on any typical trade is up to my negative 61.8. So we're just going to drag up the profit calculator up to here, and we'll see that this was a 1 to 3.5. But what if we wanted to milk that out a little bit? Remember, I said this is a simple strategy. We're not trying to overcomplicate things. So simply we just look for price when it moves up to come back down and retest some form of structure. And the structure that I tested was this area right here. So this area was tested. We see price came, this wick went around where this previous wick was, where this piece of structure was, and then flew up again. So after we saw this rejection to this zone here, could have simply placed another buy position if we wanted to scale in our positions. Cover the wick that was created, and then move our take profit to the same area that was at previously. And we see that's a 3.9. So let's call it a 1 to 4. So from the single position, we have this 1 to 4 and then this 1 to 3.5. That ends up being 7.5 more times than whatever we were risking. Also, you could have moved your stop losses, trailed your stop, multiple different things that could have been handled during this trade to make sure that you squeezed out as much profit as possible as you could. A couple things to consider when you're using the break and retest strategy. You want to make sure that your higher time frames are actually in confluence with this method. Here's actually a screenshot that I took where I had my prediction for the break and then the retest and then continuation to this 4-hour support resistance line. And then here we have the aftermath. We see price broke through, came back down on a lower time frame to retest the structure, and then continued up. Granted, it's not all the way up yet. Definitely think that it still has some ways to go. We might even see price retest structure once again, but that's something that we have to wait for. We can't predict the market. Remember, we always just react to the market. Yo, what's up guys? Nate from the future here. Just want to show you how this actually played out. So initially this was the picture that I show in the video, waiting for that break and retest, and then looking to hit this area right here. Simply you'll go back to the 30-minute chart. We see the break, come back down to retest, and then eventually hit this area right here. Keep in mind, this isn't supposed to emulate, how price is actually going to move. Like, it's not supposed to 100% follow the line. It's just supposed to show the general direction and the general flow of which price will move, which we saw was replicated. I can just move it across, boom. Not everything in the market is going to be picture perfect. So you'll see a lot of diagrams online, a lot of little pictures showing you, hey, this is how market structure works. It's never perfect. It's never 100% beautiful like that. Sometimes it is, but it's very, very rare. Most likely than not, it's going to be a little bit skewed. But yeah, just want to show you guys that quick update and just show you actually how the break and retest completely plays out. Back to the video. I can actually show you the chart that I drew that on, and that was over here. For instructional purposes of this video, I just wanted to show a clean chart where I just drew it all for you, so it kind of made sense. But here on the 5-minute, we can actually see this break, retest of the structure, and then the continuation up. Super, super simple, super clean trade. And when you don't overcomplicate your trades and you have a simple trading plan to follow, you're going to end up being profitable as long as your risk management is also in check. And that's the break and retest strategy. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got some value and added to your knowledge. And if you have any suggestions on anything that you want to learn with trading, feel free to drop them below. And lastly, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I'm out.